This Carl, would you say this is the biggest win of the season for y'all?
Oh, for sure. Down 27 points. I'm not gonna act like I'm a I don't know fake believer or whatever, because when they were down 27, I said I'm gonna turn this shit off and the game is over with. But I think Ty, I think you kept more faith than me, and you're not even a real fan of the team I am, and you kept more faith than me. You said Dallas go cool down, and they eventually did. So we ended up making a big comeback. So I think it definitely is the biggest win of the season.
For sure. I said it to you. I think I texted you this, and I think I said this in the chat too. I was like, a month ago, they don't win this game, nor do they even try to come. You know what I mean? Like, I think they would have hung it up by the end of the third quarter a month ago. The energy on this team, and if we go look at some of these offensive stats, right now they're not super off the chain at all. But like if you look at the 3-point shooting percentage, it's not great. Like tonight, I think they shot it around 17% from three. I got to go back and look, but it wasn't great. But one thing you notice off the bat is that their energy is just different. Like their energy is just different. For one, Jared Vanderbilt, let's start with him. What he's done over these first few games in the Lakers uni, off the chain, and he put himself. That was the biggest game of his career we just saw today. Where he locks down Luka. Accepts that assignment, goes right at him defensively and gets these big stops. The energy he's bringing to this team, I don't even think they had an energy guy like that when they won a title back in 2020. Like they had great players.
They had Caruso was supposed to be that player for him, but he wasn't to this level because Caruso can only do so much because obviously he's not as tall as Vanderbilt is. So,
like the rebounds he was getting, the hustle plays he was making, like. I'm not trying to say he's Dennis Rodman, but it was that Dennis Rodman type of energy that you got from him. He's frustrating guys on defense. He's getting the rebounds. He's making timely buckets or whatever the case may be. He was doing it. Like I know we talked about D'Lo a lot with that trade, but Vanderbilt, he may not pop off the stat sheet every night, but the energy he brings is just off the chain. He was like the standout guy from this game for the Lakers.
You mentioned his rebound. He had 17 rebounds.
Man.
So 17 rebounds and 15 points. So for a player that of his caliber that isn't supposed to be, like the star player of the team, for him to get 17 rebounds is big time.
Off the bench too.
Yeah, I was about to say off the bench. He's not even a starter.
Yeah.
You might want to think about playing him as a starter. I don't know.
If they want to go Blake,
who would you start him over though?
True. I mean, if you want to take Schroeder out of they may not do it, but if you want to take Schroeder out the lineup, I mean, Schroeder's not going to be starting once D'Lo's back or whatever the case may be. It depends. I don't think they're going to start him at any point. Maybe situational in the playoffs, but the biggest thing you get from it is that he's a guy who can hoop in these big games.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But the thing is, with advantage today, okay, he might not start, but he can play starter minutes.
Yes.
So he could play. He'll be down the stretch when you need to make that stop, when you're in a close game and it's nip and tuck and everything like that. He can play starter minutes for sure. So
for sure,
even if he doesn't start.
Mm-hmm. Big game for them. Blake, what you got to say about this? Are you a believer yet?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
I watched some of the. I caught the tail end of it because once I started off watching it earlier, and once it kind of got out of hand, I said,
Mm-hmm.
So, then I saw I got a notification that LeBron got hurt, and then I was like,
I thought it was over at that point too.
But I came when I got back to school and I saw it came back, and I was like, okay. All right, because towards the end, I was seeing that they was starting to pull away a little bit, and the Mavericks they weren't looking to. What's the right word to use?
They weren't looking too hot.
Yeah, it looked like shit. It looked like shit. Just call it how you.
I try to say it. I try to say it in like a nice way.
We don't need to.
Mm-hmm. I will say that the Jared Vanderbilt pickup was very good. I honestly, when it first happened, I didn't really think nothing of it, but over the past couple of games, since he started playing with him, he's really been showing his worth, and he's been a very nice fit for this team.
Yeah, facts. Like I said, that's what they needed. Like we can always talk about the shooters and all of that stuff, but that energy was just what they need because they just were a team without energy. Like I'm not gonna act like the last couple of years they haven't had talent. They had talent, but it was that lack of shooting for one, and also a major lack of energy that this team had, and he just brings so much to the table in regards to that. Then we go over to the shooting thing. Carl, you were saying it. Malik, they didn't shoot it really well from the floor. Malik Beasley didn't have this lights out game like he had a couple of nights ago, but now you're confident when they're shooting the ball from the perimeter, right? Yeah. I look at Malik Beasley, like if I would have looked at Russ and he's shooting those threes, I'd have said at some point, stop shooting. With Malik Beasley, I'm like, nah, keep shooting those, bro. You know what I'm saying? Even Darvin Ham told him that, like, yo, I don't care what the shot is. You're here to shoot those types of shots. You know, so like even see that we had the confidence for them to knock down some of those looks, it means a lot for a team, you know, that struggled on that end like a couple of weeks ago. It's just crazy seeing that contrast. Like they go from pretty much being hopeless. We don't really know which games they're going to close out, whatever. Now they look like a legitimate title contending team. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like I want to ask you that, Carl. Do you look at them in that light right now?
I would probably have to see a couple more weeks out of it because I don't want to say it like too prematurely. Oh, they're a title contending team after like them going after them winning 4 of the last 5 games after making the newer trades or whatever. But for them to get this game into at least a close game without D'Lo after trailing by 27 points shows a lot to me too. Because with D'Lo, this game might even be we might be blowing them out. You never know how sports work in general. But
it's definitely a different game with D'Lo.
Yeah. Just for us to even come back and win this game, even win it in general without D'Lo is like a plus. Because like say some of our best players like a month ago weren't on the team, we probably would have got blown. We probably would have lost by 35 damn points. To be honest with you. So whenever he comes back, it's going to add another dimension to our game because I know he has an ankle sprain, so it's day to day. So he might be back next game or the game afterwards. But I can definitely see us in probably a week or two kind of becoming more of a serious title contending team, but not right now based off of 1 week. I can't. That's not fair. I can't do that yet. But I see it. It's in the future.
Somebody with some sense about these.
Oh my God.
Right, here you go. But no, even down to seeing how well AD played, like even his energy was off the chain. Like this was one of those Anthony Davis games where you're like, bro, and all due respect, his numbers this season when he's healthy, he's hooping, right? Like I looked at his stat line. They're great numbers, but this is one of those 80 games. Like, man, if he just stays on this court, ain't nobody stopping this dude. You know what I'm saying? Like the putbacks and the buckets he was getting, and even he hit the closeout, turnaround jump shot, to basically, win the game. Like that, you look at that, you like, man, he just has got to stay on the court. If because we know that's the version of Anthony Davis you can get. If he's motivated, if they've got this energy, he feeds off of that. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, man, if he's just able to stay on this court, for the rest of this season, if they manage his minutes the right way and all of that stuff, things are finna be Gucci for them. You know what I mean? So he was off the chain. This is one of those games where you're confident they can run offense through him, in late game situations. You know what I mean? Because that's always been like a point of debate is, can you run offense late games through AD? Tonight he showed that you can do it. Just have to have him on the court, and that's about it.
Yeah. If you really looked at the game and really just looked at the energy, like you said, Vanderbilt left like on the floor and everything. Anthony Davis didn't start playing like that until he saw Vanderbilt's energy go up a little bit. I think Vanderbilt's energy had a toll on why Anthony Davis played as good as he did in the second half. Yes. I noticed that. I don't know if you picked up on that, but I did too. Because energy can be contagious, especially on the basketball team.
And that's why Vanderbilt is so important. That like him being there, it just means so much. Like you said, those guys fed off of each other big time. You know what I'm saying? Like even down to some of those offensive rebounds they're fighting over. Like just crowd the paint like this here, like just dominate the paint. Even defensively, there are a couple of times where they were down there and it looked like nobody had any chance of finishing at the basket. When they're both. I texted you. I said Vanderbilt and AD on the floor is a defensive nightmare. You know what I mean? So, those guys, I like those lineups early on when they're on the court together. I don't know the numbers because some of the stat guys are going to come around with some shit. Oh, they're plus minuses this together. I don't know how that looks, but I do know when I saw them on the court today together, they looked off the chain.
We going off the eye test.
Yeah, man. Somebody will come in.
Yeah. We don't care about plus minus. We care about if the opposing team shoots the damn ball and AD swatting that shit at the backboard. That's what we care about. We care about defense.
If it look good to us, then it's good.
I care about some plus minus, but you gotta take what you can.
You gotta know how to going.
Because I'm sure if we look at defensive rating, I'm sure like this game, especially the second half, it was off the charts.
Yes,
so
for sure.
I know that for sure. So.
Yeah. But that like those guys together, we just saw that last play there. That like they both get down there and make a huge defensive stop. Like I said, it's just about momentum and it's just about staying healthy. And Tuesday they got a big one. They got the Grizzlies. This is already a big one. I know Dallas hasn't been great since picking up Kyrie or whatever. They may have won one game since then. But it was still a meaningful win. It was an away game. It was in Dallas. They had to come back. from a team that was having a hot night offensively early in the game. They have a game on Tuesday against the Grizzlies. So if they win that one to me, I'm like, yeah, that's this is the squad. You know what I mean? Like it's like that'll be their statement win. I think they can get them too because Memphis ain't compared to everybody else. The way I think the West is looking right now, they ain't all that. The way the West is looking right now.
Is it in Memphis?
I
hope so.
I gotta check. I hope so.
If it's in Memphis, they losing.
I don't know, bro. Because I just look at Memphis now. I'm like, can y'all really match up with the rest of these teams in the West right now? Yes. Like if they're healthy at least.
If Memphis is healthy, I say yes.
With all these other teams being healthy, can you see them? They can't stack up with the healthy Clippers. They can't stack up with the healthy Lakers. They can't stack up with the healthy Mavericks. Like we're talking AD and LeBron. They can't stack up with the healthy Suns. Like the Grizzlies, bro. They gonna get drowned out when the playoffs start if everybody in the West is healthy.
That's what I'm saying.
I'll give them. Only team I think that they may have issues with is probably Phoenix. I'll give them Phoenix.
Clippers?
I'm getting to it.
Okay.
I'll give them the Clippers. I may give them LA. I may give them the Lakers. That's about it. To be honest with you.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna be honest. If say a week from now the Lakers kind of really get in the streak, say they win 3 more games in a row, that'd be a total of 6 games on a run, like 7 out of 8 or something like that. I just don't see the Lakers losing to them in the playoffs. I can see the Lakers beating them like in 5 or 6 games. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
Jaren Jackson, I know he's a defensive player of the year candidate. I still don't think he can handle. Yeah.
Quote unquote. Yeah.
Quote unquote. But I still don't think he can handle AD.
You didn't do that little king thing, did you?
Yeah, man.
But even the Kings, even the Kings are a half a game behind them, so you never know how that seeding can go anywhere. But the Kings, they probably can beat the Kings, but just based off the experience they have over them. But that'd be a hell of a series to watch.
Yeah, the Kings gonna get knocked out just because their inability to play. Like, I'm not gonna favor you in any playoffs game you can't play defense. They're young and they don't play defense. Fuck that.
They're very fun to watch, though.
They are fun to watch. They are. That's very true.
Yeah. Anytime you got 2 guards throwing alley-oops to each other like De'Aaron Fox, that's crazy.
It do something to you, don't it?
And they played at Kentucky. We talked about 3. We talked about. Do y'all know if you talked about 4 Kentucky guys so far this whole pod? Anthony Davis, Jay Vanderbilt, Malik Monk, and De'Aaron Fox.
Hold on. You sure you want to claim Anthony Davis?
Hell, he won us our last time.
No, you got to listen to what I'm saying. You sure you want to claim?
Oh, he's trying to go back. Okay, we didn't even bring that up. He crazy for that. Nah, yeah, bro. The Lakers are dangerous, man. Like you said, I think. To Carl's point, we got to see a couple more weeks of this. I think I'll make my decision based off what they do Tuesday against the Grizzlies. I think if they beat them, that's 2 big wins against 2 major teams in the Western Conference.
Yeah,
I would be surprised. Personally, the way I look at them right now is I'd be surprised if they don't at least make it to the West Finals. Yeah. That's how I look at them right now.
Now, hypothetical. If they get blew out by the Grizzlies on Tuesday, what's your thought process?
I think I'm gonna still be really confident in them. Obviously,
if they go to Memphis and get the brakes beat off of them,
which I doubt will happen. But if it happens, I'm gonna still be like, okay, you got to go back to the drawing board there. But I'm gonna still think they're contenders. But I'm gonna think my confidence level ain't gonna be the same as if they win. But I'm not gonna be like, damn, they tripping.
I mean,
you know what I mean?
The possibility of them coming back from a 27-point deficit is possible. So they could be getting blown in a game and they could come back because we saw that tonight, might I add. But yeah, it is.
And they were able to handle Luka and Kyrie late. You know what I'm saying?
Well, Luka and Kyrie was over there looking like they didn't know how to play basketball.
And building off of that too, this team, their defensive communication isn't even all that great. There were so many blown coverages. They still came back based off of their defense.
It got better in the third quarter. The third quarter was their best at some of the fourth, but then at the end of the some of the fourth, we saw LeBron kind of miss assignments. You missed that.
Yeah.
He was missing it even before he got hurt, but that's another discussion. But he top 5, so I forget it.
I'm gonna give him
he top 5. I give him excuse. Yeah. But they're an inconsistent defensive team. If something's gonna come back to get them, it's that.